relatively new to the position. So if I can introduce Dave Llewell, and I'll let you introduce the Republicans.
Perhaps because we're pressed for time, I won't take up quite as much time as I intended. I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it today. A couple of days back I spoke to Bevan and frightened the life out of him. Anyway, so I've got screeds and screeds of information here that I could talk all afternoon about child support, how I went through the family court, there's an area of that, and of course something very dear to my heart now, the Republican Party. The upstart of all this is that 3.5 years ago I didn't have a political thought in my head. I grew up with a father that said there's two things you don't talk about, is religion and politics. He was probably a wise man in those days, but he didn't come up against a corrupt system like we have. Driving up from Hamilton today, you notice I came in late. I had car problems. I drive a BMW car and I pride myself on the fact that it never gives me any trouble. Well, today it chose the day. It boiled and played up all the way up, and I stopped at every service station, every tap on the way, and topped it up, and I was getting really worried that I wouldn't make it. The last stop was at Manukau City, and I found that the wire had come off, stopping the control of the heating system, so I fixed that up and cruised up here with the running at perfect temperature. And I was thinking similar to the system that we've got for child support, you know, the wires come off and the damn thing's gone haywire. But somebody needs to get back in there and find that bloody wire and fix it quickly. Okay. Then to top it off, I got to the off-ramp here at Green Lane, 10 minutes to get off the motorway because everybody's going to the Child and Parent Expo. But we should all be there with our children. Another cock up in the system. Family court caused that. But just a brief cap on what's happened this weekend. I took my children out yesterday to the World Hamilton Show, they call it. We spent the day there, we got lost there. We just had such a great time. We just didn't worry about time. We were supposed to be at my sister's place for dinner at 6 o'clock, arrived there at 7:30. Just country show, had a great time. Forgot about family courts, child support, my talk today, because I'm a nervous sort of chap when I give a speech, as you can notice. Anyway, so that's a bit of a brief of what's been happening. And 3.5 years ago, when I was thrown into this corrupt system and the depression that set in and everything, I thought to myself, what do I do? And it was a bit like the doctor said, you take tablets, and then Jim got up and said, you know, there's one way you can go or the other way. Anyway, I was driving over the bridge one night to the men's centre looking for it, not knowing where it was. The week before I drove over, drove right past it, didn't find it, went back home. This week I thought I'd give one more go. Driving over the bridge, I thought, hell, it'd be easier to stop the car and jump over the side and it'd be all gone. But fortunately, I carried on and I saw a chap wandering in with a bottle of wine. I think it might have been Paul Catton. And I thought, that can't be it, but anyway, I thought I'd ask him, and away we went. I met the men at the men's centre, by the way, which I'm now co-chairman of with Murray Bacon. And I look around this room and I see some marvellous men. Jim, that's helped 100 people, the Mackenzie friend, and thousands of people, suicidal people, that like I was that night I drove over the bridge. How he does that, I'm not really sure, because it must take its toll on you as well, Jim. Jim Bailey, and the work he's put into equal shared parenting, amazing. Bevan, the work and research that he does that I read about in the emails and the men's blog, amazing. Plus runs his business at the same time. Murray Bacon working and running the business. I wonder which comes first there, I'm not sure. Murray Bacon there, he's just tirelessly working. Go to his place and you can't move all the information he's gathered in and stored on paper and computers and who knows what else. And Kerry over here, he's worked really hard at setting up this new party that's going to correct things. And Linda, you too, in your work, your problems with your family, so, and political busker that's prepared to live in the streets to get his message across. It's just, and then there's the other guys here that have had your own personal battles through the court, trying to see your children. I know what it's like. 4 weeks ago I drove to Hamilton to pick up my children, and the mother didn't turn up. I searched Hamilton, didn't find them. There was a hole inside my stomach. Felt like somebody had stuck a knife in there and ripped my guts out and thrown it away. Now, I'm a construction worker. I'm not too eloquent with words, but I think you can see where I'm coming from, this pain that was inside me. I drove back to Auckland, and I thought, how many other men and women in this country have driven through this hour-long trip or something from where they're supposed to see their children to home and haven't got them. It reminded me the day I arrived home, my house was empty, the children were gone, and a woman driving up the driveway with a couple of pieces of paper, one saying a protection order against my family, and a protection order, a property protection order, so I couldn't go into the house and I couldn't see my kids or my wife, who at that stage I didn't have a clue that there was anything wrong. Thought I had the wonderful marriage, but never mind. So that's the sort of thing that drives you to do something, as I mentioned. And now I'm involved with the Republican Party, with Kerry, Bevan, Jim, Paul over there. There's a lot of work gone into it already. Kerry's travelled up and down the country, along with others. We have Jack Geelan in Hamilton. He's working really hard there, fine man. Another person who's put a lot of effort in suicide work he's doing down there. I'm a spokesman for employment for the party. It's going to be interesting. I've been out to one strike outside Progressive Foods and talked with some people there. They didn't know anything about a Republican Party, but by God, we're going to make sure they know by next election. Exactly. Kerry's got his platform. He's going to talk to you later on. There's 5 points that we're going to carry into the election to make sure that people know that we're a central government. We're going to run straight down the middle. We're not going to be diverted off either way. We're there for the good of the family. This is our first and foremost thought. The family system in New Zealand has been ruined by the corrupt system we've got. Often when you see our comments about child support, that's written up in 2 letters, yes, doesn't corrupt them. But we could just about adopt it and just let them have that, because that's what it is. We need to get rid of that child support system. IRD have made a hash of it. We need to make sure that there's something installed so that it's fair for both mum and child and dad. Well, when I say both, for all of us. All three parties should be working to the direction for the benefit of the children.